Hi there, and welcome to BSF Recovery Team. Well, it's Sunday morning, and we're down here at Go For It All event weekend, and apparently there was one that got stuck in the big mud hole at the end of the playground last night. It was awful dark out, very late after we got done doing recoveries in the woods, so we saved that one for this morning. We're heading down there to see what the scoop is. Something about a flat tire, nosed up against the wall in the mud, and they can't pull it out. So we'll see what we can do. Looks like a few people have come out to watch us try and get this one out of the mud this morning. Wow, that one is definitely stuck. Should we take a little bit of a closer look? They said the front end was nosed up against a hard wall underneath the mud, and one of the front tires was flat. If we were trying to extract this vehicle with another 4x4 with a front winch, we probably would have tried to get it out backwards the way it went in and avoid the wall underneath the mud. But because we're using a tow truck, we can use that to our advantage and actually lift the front end, reduce the possibility of further damage to the flat tire, and get the Jeep up over the wall and out of the mud. Sounds fairly simple, right? But there's one thing I forgot to mention. The Jeep was overheating last night and now would not turn over or start. We started out with the tow truck positioned in such a spot that would put about a 45-degree angle on the cable. That way it would lift and pull at approximately the same amount.
Do you really think that, honey? Do you really think the boom was going to be able to get it out of all that mud?
We'll see. Honestly, I had my doubts on whether or not we could get this Jeep out with just a single line pull off of the boom. This first attempt was more of just a gauge to see how much grip that mud had on the bottom side of that Jeep, and also to give me an idea on just how hard I could pull on that fabricated front bumper of the Jeep. It also told me, as you can hear from the squealing, that it was time to replace the belts on my hydraulic pump. It was immediately obvious that we were at the very least going to have to put a snatch block on the Jeep and double line up to the boom. But with that first attempt, the bumper didn't creak, snap, pop, or move, so I was confident that we had a safe anchor point.
That's gonna suck. That suspension's just gonna keep going.
Even with the added weight of the winch and the Hummer tires with their run flats and beadlocks still inside, the front end of the wrecker just wasn't heavy enough to overcome the grip that mud had in front of that Jeep. I've found that sometimes when winching out of the mud, if you let the tension hang on there long enough, it can soften up or reduce the suction that the mud has on the stuck vehicle. But I didn't think that was going to happen in this case. So we backed off tension on the cable, set the front end of the wrecker down, and decided to modify our plan. first thing I needed to do is during that attempt, I got our winch cable blanket stuck in the snatch block on the front of the Jeep. So we had to fiddle with that and get that unstuck.
What's your next option since he's so stuck?
Well, we're going to back the wrecker up a little bit closer, get more lift. And
maybe start another vehicle in front of your wrecker so you have more weight in the front.
yeah, we're going to do that too.
Your brother just volunteered you to go to town.
There it is.
Yeah. You really don't want to go to town and grab that nickel ball of gas.
Step on me, just to hook it up.
I'll back up the truck and get some gas for you.
Okay.
Oh, you can watch this one if you want. I just think you can watch this.
Yeah, I was
We're using the Jeep as an anchor to keep the front of the tow truck down. Because we gotta try to get him out of that thick mud. Yeah. Using that orange thing as a safety barrier. Oh, there went a shock on a spring. There went, oh, coming. Anchoring the tow truck, we still got about 10 inches off the ground.
Picture of this.
With the Jeep anchoring the front of the tow truck, we finally started to make progress. Wasn't much, but it was progress. So, the logical thing to do was to set the Jeep down, move the tow truck forward just a little bit, and repeat the process again.
anchored, but still.
With the back end of the wrecker so close to the front of the Jeep, I wasn't able to winch it very far before I had to set it down and move the wrecker again. So now my plan is to repeat this at least until I got the front axle of the Jeep up and out of the mud and onto firmer ground.
And there goes the front of the tow truck again. Up and down.
You going next?
With the front axle of the Jeep finally up and out of the mud, we can now change our plan of attack. But you're going to have to wait till next week to see what we come up with. Thanks for watching BSF Recovery Team. Subscribe to this channel, share my videos, keep wheeling, be safe, and maybe we'll see you out there in the woods.